Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to JBPG City, our mass transit playthrough here on the PS4. And as you can see, I have done a little bit of expansion work over here near the airport. So we've built a very big leisure district just here. Well, I say big. We've built a decent sized little leisure district just here. So this is all commercial zoning with the leisure specialisation. And then what I've also done is I've dropped in the large casino placeable from the unique buildings set. I've also dropped in a couple of parks here just to kind of decorate the area as well. Got a little footpath between the two of them, and then to help get foot traffic from the metro over the road nice and quickly. Built a nice little bridge there, and I've relocated the metro stop back just a little bit. It was here on the corner. I've just moved it back a little bit simply to get the bridge squeezed in there. And then the only other thing that's changed is I took the camera's panning because of the big building here. I took the police, fire and medical depots from just there, and I moved them to just there, because that way they can cover both little areas. So the road comes in here as before, goes up to the roundabout, and then this junction here still one way, and then it splits, and we have the choice of turning into our little zone over here and going through all the streets over there around all the different buildings and hotels, and then it becomes one way when it rejoins. So you have to kind of feed around the airport like that and then come back out this way onto the roundabout and then that way. It just helps keep the traffic flowing and keep it moving so we don't have long queues, and also prevents clogging up the roundabout too much. So it seems to be working really well. I've got a few offices just thrown in on the end just there and just there as well, just to add a bit more life to this little area around the airport itself. Obviously I don't want to build anything on the roundabout, that's just asking for trouble. So we are down 2 taxi depots. We'll have to find somewhere to relocate those two because they're not really going to fit either side of our services there. Our football team has actually played another game. Oh, they've played 2 more games, and we've won both of them. Fantastic. And as you can see, I have dropped the price of the tickets down. After the first game, I dropped them down to $25 as opposed to $30, just make it a little bit cheaper. And as you can see, our income has actually gone up a little bit as a result, because we're getting more people into the stadium for higher capacity, which is good. We do get little spikes in traffic every now and again around here, just based on the number of vehicles that are coming into either our commercial district or to our hotel district over here with the stadium. Match days can get a little bit busy, and also to the airport itself, but they're small spikes. They don't happen very often. The traffic is usually pretty good at flowing. And then over here, just made a little tweak to the edge of Little Canada on this side. So I just basically brought the road in just a little bit so I could bring a side street down here to kind of link them up, and then put a few houses or buildings on the side just to increase capacity of the area a little bit. And then did the same just over here. I just tweaked this area a little bit. So our crematorium has been relocated down here with this extra side street. I flipped the cemetery round. It did initially point out on this street. I flipped it round onto that street there, and then put the crematorium next to it just there, and then just added in a little bit of extra housing in that block just there. Nothing substantial, just minor little tweaks. The other thing that I've done is I have now linked up our monorail over here. I had to think about where I wanted the monorail to go, and I decided to have a stop just here on the edge of our area over here in Stirling Square. So we've now got 2 trains that run into monorails. It runs along here, as you can see, as we kind of built the route, and then it splits here. So one route will go up there to and the other one will go along there. So that one there goes all the way along to the bottom. In fact, that one didn't stop. Might have to play about with the stops a little bit here. And the other one goes up to here, stops there, and then terminates there. So we have 2 services coming in and terminating on this side. One from the industrial park down there. There it is, as you can see, coming in. That terminates there and then goes back out that way again. And then we have the purple line, which comes in along here. It's just going off there, as you can see. And then that comes in and terminates there and then heads back off towards Little Canada. And then we have two on this side. We have one line that runs down through here all the way down to there. And then the other line, which runs from here all the way down through there to there and out that way to Faz Square. So that's our completed monorail circuit there. As I say, I do need to add in an extra stop for some reason. It is quite tricky to add stops to the monorail when you have multiple lines for some reason. I want the green line. See, it's kind of giving me different routes that I don't want to have stops. It's awkward trying to get the right route highlighted. Let's see if we can do it through transport routes. Let's go to transport. Let's go to monorail. Okay. Let me hide that line there. Let me hide that line for a second. That's going to edit the route, isn't it? Oh, delete the route, sorry. It's not going to let me actually edit the route that I want it to. It's going to get rid of the visuals, though. Okay, so let's try this again. So I want to hide that one like that. There we go. Keep that one hidden. So let's try this again now. Will it let me add the stops? There we go. So now I have a stop on each line. So let's go back to transport views and turn those other ones back on. There we go. So now we should have a monorail that stops in each direction. Yes, there we go. See, it wasn't stopping there before. Now it is. Excellent stuff. And then obviously I just put in a little bit of pathing just here as well, just to link those little side roads up there to help, again, allow people from this part of the district to come down into the monorail this way, rather than having to go all the way along here down the road and then in that way, or all the way along and down and this way. It just helps speed things up a little bit, hopefully. So, oh, got a cemetery that's full up. Let's empty that out. I have got another one that's in the process of emptying somewhere, I think. I think it was on this side of the road somewhere. Where was it? I could have sworn it was up here. Maybe it was over here. No. That's the one we've just emptied, I think. I could have sworn I emptied out another one. Ah, yes, there it is. Lafayette Hills. So we'll get that one to stop emptying now. So the plan for today is to build a second farm up here. We've got this nice fertile bit of land just here. So what you can see is what I've done is I've just terraformed a little bit just to flatten this bit out a bit to make these ramps here a little bit easier. And I built some off ramps on this side, so a little slipway there and a little slipway there in one direction each, and then two-way highway coming up here, and that's as far as I've gone for us to basically bring this up to a farm up in this location, and also for me to fill a long-standing subscriber request for this particular city. Ian Snelling, a long time ago, initially asked for a house out on the coast, and then when he saw the tsunamis, got a little bit concerned that he'd get flooded out, and changed his request a little bit, and wanted to have somewhere a little bit safer. So he's asked for a house on a hill with a cable car to get him to that. So I figured we'd stick him up here, and I don't know if I can actually do that without a road that kind of winds its way through. I don't know if it'll let me kind of put stuff in that way, but we'll give it a try. If not, we can always kind of bodge it a little bit. But let's start putting in our farm first of all. So we want some dirt roads, and we really want to take advantage of this wonderful fertile land over here. So let's see, I want straight lines just to really maximize how good an area we can build. We want quite a big farm here, I think. We are going to build, or need to build, a residential area nearby to be able to feed workers into this farm. Like I said, I want to try and take advantage of as much of this fertile land as we possibly can, without going over the too overboard with it. I think that's a pretty good kind of shape for our farm there. We'll throw in some other custom little details as well. Now we kind of need to bring our road up a bit. So let's find the highway. There we go. We want to go to freeform. And I need to just take that piece off the end actually, because this is the wrong angle. There we go. And we'll kind of bring this up around here, like that. And we're going to need, as I say, to build a small residential district nearby. So let's go ahead and put in a roundabout as our next point of order. So let's get a straight bit of roads, so I can get my spacing right. I want the roundabout to be decent size, but not too big. I think that should be about the right size. Let's go to curved. So that's halfway, so it wants to be one extra. There we go. Ooh, that's a very uneven. It's a very uneven roundabout. Yeah, we need to kind of do a little bit of landscaping before we go ahead with that. Okay, so let's try that again. Let's go into terraforming. That's kind of my level. Just there. So let's flatten out this terrain a little bit for this roundabout. And once we're off the roundabout, we can kind of ignore it a little bit, so we don't have to worry about it. Let's strengthen the tool, speed the process up a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. And so we can smooth those curves back out again, or smooth the terrain back out again once we're done. Let's get the roundabout in place. So once again, put my guide piece in. So that's halfway, so I want it to go to there. There. And there. And there. I know it's technically not really necessary to build the cross piece like that anymore in terms of getting the spacing right, but I find when you're building smaller roundabouts especially, that they do tend to distort when you start putting in offshoots that are not in these specific positions. So if I were to put something in here and I didn't have these cross pieces here to support and keep the shape, this would really quite badly distort and gets kind of dragged in, and it would kind of try and straighten that section out a bit and squash everything else up a bit, and you'd end up with this really weird shaped roundabout. So I tend to like to still put these cross pieces in just to give that roundabout its structural stability while I build all the support roads and connecting roads, and then when I'm happy with its position and its shape and where the side roads come off, then I just delete the cross sections out. So we need to start smoothing the terrain here a little bit, because it is a bit of a steep hill and we want that to be a little bit more subtle. So let's start to smooth this a little bit if we can. And we want to smooth this as well. This is quite, again, quite severe. There we go. Building on the downward slope. What we may need to do is actually, I think it would be better if we did that. If we flatten our terrain out here, let's lower the strength of the tool. Again, we don't want it to be too severe, but this is where we're going to build our kind of new residential district. Let's put in a kind of a hill area around there. And this is just to make sure that we have a nice kind of outskirt town, just to feed some workers into our farm. Otherwise the farm's going to fail because it's just not going to have the staff to support it. So we'll need to put in a nice little low density area over here. And as I say, if we can get Ian's request in for a house that is, you know, only transport route is the cable car, we'll do that, but I don't know if that's going to be possible, because the only way I can place the house is to have a road, and I don't know if it'll let me do that if the road isn't connected up to anything. So let's see, let's bring, oh, I need to smooth that out again, don't we? Will it let me do that? And it keeps telling me not enough soil, because we have kind of burnt through a bit. Let's take a bit away from here. Smooth that out a little bit. Smooth this area out a bit more. Just to try and take a bit more soil, just enough to get my modifications done. I don't want to drastically change this shape too much. I do want to smooth that little exit there in particular if I can. I think what I'm going to have to do is get a little bit creative again, just take chunks of soil off these cliffs. Just doing little light taps, as you can hear, or you can probably hear being picked up on the microphone. I don't want to hold the button down because it'll take huge, great big chunks. I just want to take little bits here, just to rough up the sort of surface of the cliff a little bit, so it's not, you know, perfectly smooth, but also because I don't want to take huge, great big chunks of soil. Just need a little bit. So there we go. Let's try that. Let's try smoothing this out again now. It's not going to work. Let's try leveling. Oops. Try leveling the terrain a little bit. And again, we're doing this at a slightly lower strength, just so that I can bring it up a little bit, not all the way up. And I can do this in stages. like that. And now if I try and smooth that, I've actually got some ground to work with, as you can see. There we go. I have been experimenting with terraforming quite a bit in this playlist, and I'm starting to get better at it. You know, it's still one of those things that's a bit tricky to do, but the more you do it, it's like anything. The more you do, the more you practice, the better you get. And I am sort of getting used to terraforming a fair bit better than now that I've done a fair bit more of it. So. My voice is really playing up today. Done a lot of recording, and I think it's giving up on me. Right, let's see how severe that road's going to be. That's not too bad. It's not going to be one way, but that's not too bad of a slope. I'm happy with that. So, actually, I don't want it there, do I? I want it to come off here. Like that. Yeah, that'll do. That's not too bad. We can live with that. And then the other one, I kind of want this to be a three-sided roundabout, or three-junction roundabout like that. So that's going to come off here. Like that. Again, that's not too bad. Yeah, I like that. There's our roundabout. So let's take our cross pieces out. Let's go back to freeform. Just want traditional road. So let me just switch that over. There we go. Nope. There we go. And where do I want to bring this into the farm? I suppose sort of this way. Make that the main road in. Question is, where do I turn it into a dirt track? And I think if I start the upgrade process about there, we can smooth that corner out because that's a bit rough. There we go, that's a little bit better. Over that little crest of a hill, drop down into the farm itself. Yeah, that could work. It is, again, only kind of one way in, one way out, and I'm a little wary of that, so I'm toying with the idea of maybe having a second road that kind of comes off over here, perhaps. How about, actually, if I take a support road around here like that, take that piece out a little bit, let's take it to there. Bring that up like that. Okay, so what we'll do is... Oh, actually, I can't go one way on these. I was thinking make it one-way roads, but I can't. But it does give me options. If I bring the road to about there and split it there, it does give me options for traffic going out. So it should hopefully help keep traffic flowing around that sort of area over there. So now it's time for us to quickly build our district over here. Let's see. That's going to want to be a main road coming in. We'll bring it in about there. And run it down like that. Let's go freeform. And then we're going to have lots of little side roads coming off here. Into, you know, weaving through this area. But this is all, as I say, going to be low density. I don't really want to go too big on some of these junctions, make them too heavy for traffic. That's just asking for trouble. Take that down there. Curve that around. Just kind of want to keep that. Trying to keep the same angle as we've got already. That works, I think. Nice curved piece like that. Yeah, I like that. Let's have a side road coming out this way. Fill that bit of space there. That might do for now. Probably going to have to make it a little bit bigger, but it'll do for now. Let's get some water in this area. So this is going to be, let's do the farm first. The farm's going to be the easier bit to do. Run that straight across. And that actually covers the entire farm. Excellent. So we'll connect that up. We'll bring that straight across down here into our town. I'm not going to be able to cover all of that, I don't think. No, not quite. Not without doing a little bit of a bend like that. There we go. Ooh, that's just short, isn't it? That's a little bit too much. I think I need to be about there. No. That's not enough. Let's try and just keep this simple. Let's go to there, like that, and then it's only really this little spot here. We can just extend a little bit of pipe like that. There we go. Excellent. So now we need to connect that up water-wise over here. Now obviously we've got our pumping station over here. There's no reason why we can't take water from there over to the farm, like so. We are going to need power over here, so let's get some turbines in place up here. Let's flatten that peak off a little bit. Let's set the level there. Just flatten this off a bit. Just for a few turbines, nothing substantial. But we'll try and have a power source that's, you know, mainly for whatever's up here, but also just contributes a little bit extra to our network. So we're not, you know, if there's a problem, there's a storm and our power lines are broken, we have still got some power in the area. So let's put a couple of these in up here. I'll try and space these out a bit. This isn't going to be enough to power our farm, but it's a decent little start, and it makes sense to have a small wind farm up here. Given how high it is, we should hopefully get consistently strong winds up here. So it would make sense for this to actually be a wind farm in reality. There we go. And we'll get some power lines coming down from here. We'll bring those down here to the edge of the farm, like so. Let's go ahead and start zoning stuff in over here. I'm going to pause while we do this. Start with the low density commercial, because we're going to need commercial. We'll run shops down this main section here. Go back to fill, that'll be easier. There we go. Same there, and there, and there. Like that. So that's our main commercial hub for this little area. And now everything else, just go with a large brush. Around there, like so. All of that. Go back to fill, which I've got to select first of all. Take that piece off, and that piece. Now I'll go to fill, and I'm going to rezone that piece and that piece as well. There we go. So hopefully that'll be enough. I want to have my services in place, so we want a small regional police station. And a health centre. And a fire station. There we go, it's my regional services. What else do I need? I need a basic school system. So we want an elementary school. And I want a secondary as well. Gonna do my usual thing of putting in a playground behind the school. We'll go with a large one here, like that. That fits in quite nicely. And that is pretty much it, I think. I think that's all we need in that area. I'm going to put in some temporary power lines, just so we can feed power into this area as it zones in. Let's draw those to there. We should get commercial drawing in pretty quickly, and the residential will start to pop up around it. And let's start to zone in our farm as well. So I want farmland in these blocks here. I do need to put a district on this, so let's paint a quick district. We're just going to go with a medium brush here. This doesn't need to be particularly neat, and we'll need to expand this area. It's not going to be big enough. I'm fairly confident of that. So we are going to need to expand our little rural village, town, whatever you want to call it, over here. but it's good enough for now. And then over here, obviously we need to zone this so we can put the farm speciality in as well. So let's start zoning around here. This we can neaten up a little bit once it's done. Meadow Hills will do for now. And then make it farm. There we go. And then district policy. Sheffield Hills needs to have a schools out policy. There we go. So, let's start zoning stuff in. So there is the commercial and some residential starting to go in as well. Quite quickly. I'm going to actually start extending this area back over here. Because I have a feeling we might need to take a road up there. For Ian's house. I know I broke the power connection, but you know, we're going to fix it. Like so. Probably going to need a little bit more commercial in this area as well, but it'll do for now. Let's continue adding in little extra bits along here. In fact, let's rework those temporary power lines. Let's get them out of the way. We're not going to run anything alongside this side road here. Let's do that. There we go. Now we can expand over here without risk of constantly breaking power lines. There we go. So we've got a nice little expansion over there. We need more piping in place now. Take that all the way to the back. I'm going to need to extend that one ever so slightly to cover that tiny little bit there. And there we go. We have full coverage. Keep an eye on people moving into the area. Let's speed time up to its fastest. Nice little big bike drive through there. How's our farm starting to look? Not bad. Got an interesting selection of fields here. Again, major worker shortages. I was going to say massive and major, and it kind of went major. I've been doing that a lot recently, just mixing two words together without realising. So yeah, major staffing issues over here at the moment. That'll calm down once we get more people into this area. It's just a question of getting them in this area. There's not much demand at the moment for residential, even though we have a lot of it. So we just need to be a little bit patient. Again, because we have a surplus of housing, it's not going to show us a demand, because the second a demand pops up, it's immediately going to be sated while we have available housing, or available space for housing to just go straight in. So we're not going to see an increase in our residential demand until these areas are all filled up, and we just don't have space for housing to go up anymore. That's when we'll start to see our great demand bar, or not our great demand, sorry, our residential demand bar start to increase again. So we just have to be patient. You can see that people are still moving in. We are still seeing houses go up. Let's see if we can improve things a little bit with some parks and stuff. Let's get a small park. Can we get one in over here perhaps? Ooh, that fits perfectly like that. Excellent. What else? What else? What else? We could do with a transport link, couldn't we? We could do with a bus. That kind of runs through the area. So let's start the bus. Let's see. Just trying to pick my route. I want the bus to kind of drive into the farm. So let's get a stop here. Create a few stop-off points around here to help spread the workers around a bit. And then bring this in. Let's have a stopping point just here. And another one there. Actually, no. Let's delete that stop instead. We'll come in here. We'll put a stop here by the park. We'll loop around the back like this. That way we're stopping near the schools. And then back out to the farm. So let's just reposition a couple of these stops. Let's put a stop there. Let's put another stop in just here. Oops, it's on the wrong side. Delete. There we go. Stop there. Move that stop back one. There. Put a stop in there. Move that one forward a bit. Yeah, there we go. So we've got a nice little bus route there to kind of ferry people around. We don't obviously come out this way, but we come out a little bit, so it's not too far for these guys to walk that way. What we can also do is we can put in a dirt path to kind of link our roads together. I had it for a second there. There we go. And let's just put a path in just there, like that, so they've got a way of walking in that way if they want to walk as well. Just a little path. If actually no, let's not go with a path there. Let's put the path. Let's go with a concrete path to link these two roads together. There we go. do the same over here as well. Actually, no, we're a bit close to the roundabout. I don't want to give people the idea of using the roundabout as a crossing point. Roads are getting quite busy. That's okay. A couple of failed commercial buildings. Just take those out, get some new ones in there. This area is really building up already, as you can see. Plenty of buses running. Possibly too many buses. We might have to change the bus route a little bit. Got some failed businesses in here, as expected. It's going to take, as I say, a little while for this farm to settle down. They always seem to. Especially in a new area. You've got to let the people get into the area and then get them some kind of education. I still don't know if that area is going to be big enough to support a farm that big. It is quite a big farm. I don't really want to build Ian's house up here because the noise of those is going to be quite a lot. I don't think I can actually do... I don't think I can have a house just here without any kind of transport link. So I'm going to need to... I'm going to need to do something a little bit different. So instead, I'm going to give you a district instead, Ian. I'm going to make this Snelling Heights instead. And I will give you your own dedicated house in here. But I'll make this Snelling Heights, so you've got your own little district. So we just need to let that kind of continue to grow over here, get more people moving in, get these houses leveling up, more people being born, and increase the population over here. We still have gaps, as you can see, where some housing has not yet been taken. Quite a bit of housing, so still got plenty of scope for more people to move into the area. And once they do, we can then start supplying more workers to the farm. Let's just check our bus line. How many buses are currently running on the route? Six buses. That's possibly a little bit too many. Let's take it down to 5 buses. There we go. So, yeah, let's start making some little changes. I'm going to go to districts here, and I need to rename this district because I have had a request for a second farm, which is why we built this. This is from Rob, and he wants this to be Knapp's Farm. So there we go, Knapp's Farm. That goes in just there. And as I say, we are going to rename this Snelling Heights. Oh, actually, he's actually put a request in. He would like this to be Grizzly Adam Heights. And the residents would be Snelling Towers. And that's what he wanted for a single thing. So we'll kind of honour that as best we can. So instead of being Snelling Heights over here, this district will be called Grizzly Adams Heights. So let's rename this. Grizzly Adams. Oops, can't spell today. Heights. There we go. And then I'll need to find a specific house in here and make that Snelling Towers. So while I can't give you your own dedicated route, I can certainly give you the district and a house. I just can't give you something that's completely isolated. There's just no way I can actually get it to work, because any kind of crime as well, or illness or anything like that, would be an issue. So yeah, there we go. Grizzly Adams Heights. We'll let that area continue to expand a little bit. I'll need to draw out additional kind of zoning or additional roads as this area needs to expand. And then we'll start to slowly build up Knapp's Farm as well once this area has increased in size. I may well push the terrain out down towards the freeway, take up a bit more of that space, but we'll see how that goes. So that's it from me for this particular episode. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more mass transit and JBPG City very soon.